Hello, Precise Pilates people. Welcome to week 6 of term 2 online. We're going to be doing some banded variations of your exercises today. So if you have 1 or 2 bands close at hand, have them for this workout. Of course, they're not necessary and you can do all the exercises without them. So we're going to start with some calf raises, and I'd like you to stand upright on your mat with the feet hip width. Now I want you to really think about the connection to the soles of your feet and that promotion of fascia and feedback through the feet itself and up through the limbs into the torso and the core unit. So relaxing the shoulders, floating the sternum, gentle in and out breath. I'd like you to just start circling the weight over the soles of the feet. Now I want you to make a really distinguished point of contact from the front ball of your foot and the heel of your foot. Don't worry so much about the toes lifting off the ground. You want to make sure the heels stay in contact. The front ball of your foot is in contact. Good. Now for those of you that have flat or fallen arches or any kind of foot fascia issue, you may need to think about doming your arch. So come to the center where your weight is distributed over the mid of your soles of your feet. Think about doming or lifting the arch of your foot to promote that distinguished point of contact between the heel and the front ball of the foot. Relax your shoulders. On your next exhale, switch on that T-zone. Take a deep breath in. Now we're going to peel the heels off the mat first. So just lift through the heels, exhale. Those abdominals are contracting as we float the soles off the mat, rolling through the arches onto the ball of the foot. Sternum is floating. We're going to inhale, travel back down slowly to the ground through those heels. Reset into the mat, you might need to lift that arch once more. On the exhale, using the abdominal connection, peel the heels off, roll through the arches onto the ball of the foot, and then inhale, come down. Good, keep going with that here. Now I don't want to see you leaning forwards. It's not a face plant. It's a lift directly upright, as if you were lengthening the spine, lifting from the ball of the foot up through the shin itself, the hip bones and through the spinal column and out through the crown. And then as you come down, you keep that kind of sensation of length. Heels come back down to the mat. Press down and activate through the legs. Good, keep going. We're exhaling to lift and inhaling to come down. You're working on your stability of your ankle joint as well as the calf muscles strengthening here. Adding in some arm prep. You could do single arm, exhale, float one arm on up, directly in line with the shoulder if possible, and inhale, the arm travels back down as the heels reset. It could be 2 arms. Good, and don't let yourself fall backwards. Think about lifting, making that really distinguished effort onto the ball of the foot, and rolling down really smoothly through the arches and into the heels. Let's do 3. Adding that arm prep if you'd like, remembering that as we exhale, the shoulder blade is gliding down as you float the arm up, the rib drawing towards the hip, and inhale back down. 2 more. Exhale, ribs to hips, inhale down. Good, last one. Arm prep, exhale, calf raise, and inhale down. Beautiful, stay there. I want you to think about your arm prep a little bit more in detail. Bring one hand onto your rib cage, soft knees, one hand by your thigh. Now switch onto the T-zone, take a deep breath in. Feel the inflation through the side of the lung, underneath that palm. Now as you exhale, start to float the arm on up. Concentrate on drawing the shoulder blade down your back and away from the ear as the arm floats. With the hand pressed on the rib cage, exhale, push the rib cage down as the arm extends over the shoulder if possible. Inhale as the arm floats back down. Inflate into the lung and feel the side of the lung. Good. Exhale. Pushing that rib cage in and down and feeling the obliques on between the rib and the hip in front. Inhale down. Let's do one more and then we'll take it to the other side. Exhale. And inhale. Good. Position that one hand down on the thigh, one hand on the rib cage. Think about the shoulder. As you start to float the arm on up, the shoulder blade is coming away from the earlobe and gliding down. Equally exhale, the ribs are moving towards the hips as the arm extends. Inhale down. Good. Exhale, arm prep, ribs sinking in and down shoulder blade moving down your back. Good, inhale down. Let's make this last one. Exhale. And inhale. Beautiful. Now I want you to think about that motion and also the calf raise and add it into more of a fascia-based loop exercise. So if you have two bands, you can grab two bands, tie them here, and place them under one foot. I don't mind which, and you'll probably choose your dominant foot. Now one end of the band is going to cross over the front of the body. One end of the band is actually going to loop around the back of your body and over the oppositional shoulder. And you're going to tie a loop here, tie a knot, so that your band, double band, becomes a loop. If you don't have two bands, don't worry. You can use me as your feedback, visual feedback. So I've got one arch of my foot, which is actually being lifted by the contraction of this resistance band. And I've got one connection to my shoulder. Now this fascial loop is the one that you're going to work on. So let's start with hip extension, and then we'll add that lovely arm prep positioning next. Hands on your hips, soft knees. I want you to think about switching on your T-zone, yes, and promoting the flow of the sternum. Now your banded leg is the leg that you're going to work into hip extension. So gently bring the weight over onto one leg, keeping the knee soft. Don't try and drop your hip out to the side and roll off the arch of your foot and through the ankle. Keep the inside of that foot connected to the mat. As you exhale, you're going to push back through the band, squeezing your glute max, coming into your hip extension. Good. You can already feel that the band is being pulled on the oppositional shoulder, and you're going to have to work a little bit harder to keep the shoulders level. Inhale, slide the foot back in. You can touch the toes to the mat. As you exhale, push the heel behind you, squeeze the glute max. Try to stop your pelvis from tilting or bending at that belt line just yet. Good, inhale, slide the leg back on in. Just go for hip extension. Exhale, squeezing glute max to lengthen the leg behind you into that band. Think about keeping the shoulders level and balanced. And inhale, slide back in. Good, from the front. Keeping your balance over one leg. Exhale, slide the leg behind you, squeezing glute max. Shoulders staying level. Inhale, slide back in. Good. As the movement becomes a little bit more familiar, now start to add a hip hinge. So as you press the heel behind you, squeezing the glute max, you can gently lean forwards so the weight is distributed over your front knee and your front ball of your foot. Squeeze your glute max to lengthen into the band, and now feel that you're getting a deeper connection and you're working a little bit harder to keep the shoulders level. Inhale, slide in. Good, exhale, squeezing the glute for hip extension, a little hip hinge or lean forwards, and then inhale, come back on in. Beautiful, keep it going. So this is level 2 of your fascial loop. Good. Now if this is all going well and you like this exercise, you're getting a really good sensation and the stability work in that one standing leg is very strong, try to now take this arm into your arm prep or a reach. So as we squeeze the glute max and lengthen the leg behind us, pressing the extended leg into the loop. Reach forwards as you hinge forwards, chest over that knee and the ball of the foot. And then slide back on in. Beautiful, keep it going. Slide it on out, exhale and reach. And inhale, slide it back on in. Good, keep the foot off the mat, make it harder. Wonderful, let's do 2. And 1. Good, lovely. How did that feel? Did you get a good cross-body connection? And did you think about where the extension of arm and leg was coming from? You had to work extra hard here to keep both hips and shoulder blades level. Now to make this exercise one level harder, the extra piece of your band which you have tied over your shoulder could also now be used in that arm extension. So as you extend the arm, you're pulling on the resistance band, you're working extra hard through the T-zone, squeezing the glute max into that leg extension as you hinge hip forwards. And inhale, come back on in. Good, try it again. Exhale and inhale. Now if you find that your balance is not that great, you can come back through the progressions to just the hip extension. We're going to take it to the other side. So let's now see if you're balanced through each side. Loop your bands off or just change sides if you're not working with any bands. Remember that your foot is placed on the end of your loop. You want the opposite shoulder positioned with the band on top. You've got one piece of band behind you and one in front. Hands on your hips, hands by your sides, whatever you choose. Just start with hip extension. So you are going to be weight loading through the opposite leg that is non-banded. You want a soft knee, you want to keep yourself from rolling outwards through the hip, and you want to keep the inside of the ball of the foot on the mat. Good, you're going to push your heel back, squeezing your glute max, extending the leg by kicking into the band. And then you inhale, slide back on in. Hips, shoulders want to stay level. T-zone must be on, so as you exhale, slide the leg behind you, squeezing the glute. Good, inhale in, exhale, and inhale. Wonderful, keep it going. Exhale, just hip extension. Now one side will be greater at this balance work than the other, so move cautiously if you find that you're getting frustrated with this side not being as great as the opposite side. Good, taking it into that larger motion now, you can squeeze your glute max as you extend the leg behind you into hip extension, pushing into that band. You can bend your front knee and now position your chest over your ball of your foot. Good, inhale in. Good, exhale. And inhale from the front. Remember, working through those motions, you could always come back to just hip extension. This side is not my best side. Good. I work really hard to keep the inside ball of the foot on the mat, and that prevents me from dropping out to the side. Equally, I have to work hard through the shoulders to keep myself level. Adding in your arm prep is the next piece of the puzzle. As you exhale, squeezing your glute max, pushing backwards into that band, hip hinging, bending softly through the front knee, you can reach forwards. Inhale, slide back on in. Now this reach is just like your arm prep. The shoulder wants to draw down your back, and you want to utilize your oblique connection from rib to hip. Good. If you've got that excess of band, you can add that in here too. You can add an arm prep using resistance. So as we exhale, squeeze the glute max, coming into that leg extension and a little bit of a hip hinge, a soft knee in front. You can pull on the band, exhale, extend the arm, drawing the shoulder blade down, rib to hip. Good. Let's make two more. Let's make one more. Good, come back to the center. Good, so that's a really nice exercise if you're working in the gym with single side exercises and you really want to look at whether you are balanced throughout the muscular sling. And this is a particularly useful muscular sling. We use it in golf, we use it in tennis, we use it in fishing, you use it in multiple of your exercises and hobbies that you would be doing outside of Pilates. Undo your loop, place it to the side. Let's take it down to the mat now. So we're going to do just a small amount of rolling, just a few, just to get you a little bit more fluid. Come to the end of your mat, feet are back at hip width, shoulders are down, float the sternum, take your breath in. Drop the chin to the chest. As you exhale to sink the ribs to the hips, start to allow the head to travel in front. Think about the inside and outside ball of the foot connection as you begin to roll your head in front of that belt line. Good, you can soften through the knees as you exhale, drop the head in front of those thighs and roll forwards and down, allowing the spine to open slowly. Take a deep breath in at the bottom, allow the head to have a little nod, a shake of yes and no, and then exhale, scoop out that belly, push through the arch, push through the ball of your foot and your heel, lifting your arch and rolling upright one at a time. Lift that sternum, take a breath in. Drop chin to chest, exhale, sink and melt. Good, remembering that knees can remain bent or soft, particularly as your head moves beyond your belt line. Don't allow yourself to lose that connection through that nice tripod in the feet. Scoop the abdominals, exhale, push through the heels and the ball of the foot, switch on the legs. Use the tummy to lift you up one vertebrae at a time. And at the top, take a deep breath in. Let's just do one more of these. Drop chin to chest, exhale, sink and roll. All the way to the bottom, take a deep breath in. You could have really bent knees. On an exhale, scoop the tummy, push into the ball of the foot, the heel of the foot, switch on the legs. Scooping out the belly, to lift the vertebrae one at a time, stacking in that nice standing alignment. Take your breath in at the top. And relax. Bring yourself down to 4-point kneeling and we'll continue. So you may want to utilize a single band for the next few exercises. I'm going to use this slightly heavier black band, which is medium. You can use whatever you see fit. Now when you come down to 4-point kneeling, the first exercise we're going to work on is bat wings. I want you to look at your scapular placement. So come into your positioning with your shoulders underneath your palm, over your palms, and your knees underneath your hip bones. Remember that your neck needs to stay nice and soft, so don't promote any extra tension here. Give the head a nod and a shake, and just remind yourself to not add any cervical spine tension. Switching on the T-zone in this position, as you take your soft breath in to lift your pelvic floor, just melt the shoulders from the ears. Imagine you're elongating that lovely, beautiful neck of yours an extra inch. As you exhale to lift the belly off the mat and draw it inside the front of the pelvis, those two hip bones want to narrow to keep those abdominals lifted from the mat. Good. From this position, keeping straight and long arms, we're going to allow our chest to sink down towards the elbows. So as we inhale, we just let the chest sink down, and you might find that you're squeezing your shoulder blades together, and you can feel that your shoulder blades have popped out the back of your body. It's quite uncomfortable in this position, so on an exhale, scoop the belly up, push against the long arms, and start to lift the rib cage back on up. Now as you come into this nice box position, think about your connection underneath your armpit. Have one hand, have a little feel around and feel the serratus and the pec minor is on. Have another go. Keep the arms long and straight. Inhale, just release the chest, slide it between the arms down towards the elbows. Feel the shoulder blades are squeezing together and outside of your body. As you exhale using the belly, push against the long arms, slide the rib cage back on in, and push up. Again, feel on the opposite side underneath that armpit. You should find your chicken wing or your serratus anterior muscle and pec minor are working to keep the rib cage in placement. Do that a few more times. Inhale to slide down between those long arms, letting the rib cage lower to the elbows, and exhale using the belly, pushing against the arms to really locate the scapula. Good. Now this scapular placement is particularly important in the next set of exercises, which are going to be triceps and horse kick. Now your triceps I have a variation for, but I want you to be really confident with your scapular placement. Let's do one more. Now on this last one, as you push away from the ground, drawing the rib cage back on up, utilizing that lovely serratus anterior pec minor connection, I want you to feel switched on and worked in this position. You should have a good connection to the mid-deep center of your back. We're going into horse kick first. Abdominals are on. We're first going to slide one leg out the box, going into that leg extension that we practiced in warm-up. Now give your glute max a squeeze, coming into hip extension without tilting through the pelvis and losing those abdominals. Inhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, keeping your box. Don't hinge through that lower back and come into lumbar extension. Keep the tummy lifted. Extend the leg, squeeze the glute. You can float the foot from the mat if you'd like. Inhale, knee moves in and down. Extend the leg, squeezing the glute max, floating the foot from the mat for a challenge. Remember that the hips want to stay completely over your mat. So don't be tempted as you push the heel out behind you, squeezing your glute, exhale. You lift your hip up to get the leg off the ground. That's not what I want you to do here. If you have to lift your hip to get into that range of extension with lift, don't go there. Just work through the limits of your neutral spine and try and keep your pelvis level. Try and keep your shoulders in that lovely connection that you've connected through in your bat wings exercise, pushing away from the ground, the serratus anterior armpit muscle on, the chest, pec muscles working for 2 more. Last one. Come back to the mat, let's change sides. Remembering you can have a short rest, I'm moving straight into horse kick. Extend the leg behind you. Squeeze the glute max so you know that you can connect to that big glute muscle. Now, as you float the leg a paper's width from the mat if necessary, hips are not turning outwards. We're drawing the knee in towards the chest. Inhale. Notice that my spine does not flex. I'm not extending my lumbar back. Good. Extend the leg, squeezing my glute. Keeping my hips level, lifting the leg from the mat for challenge. Try to draw the shoulder blades down. Think about that lovely connection in your back wings exercise. Exhale, extend the leg, squeeze the glute, lifting the leg from the mat for a challenge. Good, your horse kick exercise, targeting your hip extension. Good. Don't lean out over that one remaining knee connected to the mat. Try and keep yourself level over those 3 points of contact. Final one. Good, come back to your box, both knees on the mat. You can pull your buttocks back towards your heels. Rest back in your child's pose, pulling your fingers away from your hip bones, lowering the head between the arms, and getting a lovely stretch of the back in this child's pose prayer position. You can spend a couple of breaths here if you'd like. I'm moving straight back to our 4-point kneeling box for our tricep variation. Tricep press, if you don't have a band, is the same exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to create more resistance and more strength work by placing the band over my forearms. So essentially what I'm going to do is create a loop. Now I'm going to make it quite small because I want to work extra hard in my tricep work, which means I want resistance on the band straight away. So I'm going to create a loop and then I'm going to feed both hands through the loop. Now I want the loop to be just above my elbows, and that's the most challenging progression. If you want it to be easier, bring the band down towards your wrists. Now come back to your 4-point kneeling box, shoulders gliding down. Think about the serratus anterior muscle on. Now I want you to switch on to the T-zone straight away. Pelvic floor and abdominals working. Now keeping the elbows drawing back towards your knees, you're going to inhale, bend your elbows, place your nose down between your hands. Notice that you're pressing outwards into the band. Exhale, use the belly, push against the arms and come back up to the box. Good, so as we inhale, we're dropping the elbows to the mat. We want to make sure we're drawing them back towards the knees. As you push outwards into the band through that forearm and elbow connection, exhale, use the belly and come back on up. Good, inhale down and exhale. Good, inhale and exhale. Don't promote tension in that cervical spine. Try to think about lengthening the shoulders away from the earlobes. The further inwards to the box you track those elbows as you drop the nose down between the hands, the better this will target those triceps. Equally, as you exhale to push against the palms, you want to push outwards into the band and really start to use the muscles of the forearm. Good. To make this harder, you could turn this into your tricep circles. Now this is one of my least favorite exercises, so bear with me. It's the same breathing, and I want you to think about the stability you create through your shoulders and your back. T-zone on. You still inhale the nose down between the hands, elbows to the knees. You're now going to shuffle your head in front of your fingers. As you exhale, extend your arms, pushing outwards into the band, lifting the chest back on up. Then slowly bring shoulders back over palms. Inhale down, roll forwards, exhale, push up and come back. It should be a fluid movement, but if you find you're losing your neutral spine, your T-zone connection, by all means come back to tricep press. Good, let's do 3. Oh, I hate these. 2, use that exhale on those abdominals. Your last one, inhale, exhale. Good, shift your weight back, buttocks to your heels. You can undo the band over the forearms and have a little break. Wonderful. From this position, we're actually going to go into side lying glutes. Why not? So for this, I'm doing a banded series of clams. You don't have to do this. You can do this without the band. The band is extra work for the adduction or the abduction series, which is moving outwards through the hip, opening the hip. So I'm going to position my knees together. I'm going to wrap my bands above my kneecaps on the same position as my VMO connection, as if I was placing the circle over my thighs. I'm creating a double knot, so I know it's not going to come undone. And already, as I try to press outwards into the band in the C position, I know that I'm going to be working extra hard. Now I'm coming down to lay on my side. Side lying 45-degree clam is first. Clam 1. So stack your hips, your knees, and your feet. Now for those of you that don't want to use the band, just work to what you're able. Those of you that are working to the band, please stop if you get any pain within the hip joint itself. If something feels particularly uncomfortable, have a rest. Position your hand in front for balance, remembering that you want to rock your top hip towards the front edge of the mat and try and keep that nice little internal rotation. Hand on the top hip bone. On your next exhale, I want you to push your top hip bone down and lift your bottom waist up. Check by sliding your hand between your ribs and your hips. Your obliques are on and you've got that little gap. You can keep your hand here or in front, I don't mind which. Now press your feet together, pressing the heels. You want to switch on your glute medius. On your next exhale, you're going to be opening up into the band, into your clams. You want your glute med on first, and then inhale to close. Good, exhale, clam 1, inhale, close. Now this series of banded clams works your glutes, yes, but you also start to work the AB adductors, which are the external thigh. You want to promote that your glutes are the primary mover, so keep the top hip forwards. Switch on first by squeezing the heels, getting glute medius on. Exhale, open up, and inhale to close. Like I said, if you feel it straining within your groin or within your hip flexors or in the inner thighs itself, stop. Take the band off, have a little break. It's a really good warm-up for those that are running, that are cycling during the winter months, and that need to really prepare your pelvis, your lower back, for the workload that you're putting through the lower limbs. Good. Check in with the bottom waist. Check in that you're flattening those abdominals. As you exhale, squeeze the heels and open up to your clam. Don't let the top hip roll back. Good, 2 more. Last one. Beautiful. Stay switched on, keep the bottom waist lifted. Shuffle the knees higher to your clam 90. Now you may not have done this since you did your beginners with precise Pilates. Same movement, bottom waist lifted, abdominals flattening, press the heels together. Exhale, open up into your clam, inhale, close. Top hip forwards, please, don't roll back. Squeeze, exhale, open, and inhale, close. Now it works a slightly different portion of the glutes, and I want you to feel that you've shifted the position of your workload and check in with your hands on those gluteals here. Beautiful. Clam at 90. Check the bottom waist, the abdominals and the glutes and the hip position. Don't strain through your neck. Try to keep the upper body connected to the mat through that bottom forearm or in your bicep hold, however you are resting. Good. 3 more. 2. And 1. Excellent. Have a little break. Shuffle the legs back to 45. Clam 2, and if you'd like, clam kick out is the next variation and the final exercise on this banded side. Take the band off if you need, don't continue. Now each exercise is 12 repetitions, so just done 12 clam 1, 12 clam 90. We're going to do 6 clam 2, and if you want, 6 clam 2 kick out. It's not mandatory, it's optional. Now, making sure the bottom waist is lifted, top hip pressed down and forwards, float the feet from the mat at hip height. Checking that you're flattening those abdominals, press heels together, exhale, open up, clam 2, and inhale to close. Good. Remembering you can always come back down to the mat, take the band off if you need. You want to make sure you're connecting to your glutes before you open up into the band. We want the glute activation to be the primary move here. Good. So 6 clam 2s. You can continue on with clam 2, or you can exhale, open up the clam, squeezing the heels, extending the top leg, and turning it down from the hip joint. Good. Bring the heels back together, pressing the top knee into the band. Inhale to close. Keep the feet floating. Exhale, squeeze and open. Inhale, lengthen, turn it down. Exhale, soles together, press into the band and close. 4 more. Exhale. Lengthen, inhale, turn it down. Exhale, soles together. Inhale, close. I'm burning. 3 more. Good. Beautiful. Final 2. Exhale, squeeze and open. Inhale, lengthen, turn it down. Exhale, soles together, knee high. Inhale, close. 1 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, push into the top band. Inhale, close. Rest the feet down, rub your butt. Good. Beautiful. Well done. Good. From this position, push yourself up. Shuffle over. Let's change sides. So we'll repeat that on the opposite side to continue our band and glute series. Lay yourself down. Wonderful. 45 degrees, push the top hip forwards, push the top hip down, lift the bottom waist, flattening through the abdominals first. Press the heels together, find your glute medius. Exhale, open clam 1 and inhale to close. Top hip doesn't roll back. And if you find that you're straining your hip flexor, check, am I rolled forwards? Do I need to take the band off? Am I straining through those adductors? That will signal a weakness and maybe possibly a tightness through your hip flexors. You don't want to work a weakness into fatigue because then you will be straining and it could lead to a possible injury. That's what's happened to me with my hamstring, and it's taken me nearly 11 weeks just to get it back to its original state before I really strained it. So don't strain, take the band off if you need to. Good. 7. We're going for 12. You've got 4 more. Squeeze the heels. The glute medius is the first connection. Before you open into the band, please. Good. 2. Last one. Beautiful. From this position, keep the bottom waist up. Shuffle the knees to 90. Checking in. Abdominals are flattening. Top hip down and forwards. Press the heels, connecting now to a slightly different portion of your glutes. Exhale, open up, and inhale to close. Good, so your clam at 90 is working more into the lower portion of glute medius and glute minimus. You really want to check that the workload has changed, and if you have fatigued that bottom leg, it will be turning it on and telling you to stop. That is also a secondary mover. And it will be working to keep the pelvis stable. Good. Halfway. 4 more. 3. 2. Last one. Beautiful. Have a small break. Shuffle back to 45. Now, for those of you that want to remain down, take the band off, come back to clam 1. If not, top hip forwards, press down, bottom waist up, start to flatten those abdominals from hip bone to hip bone and float the feet at hip height. 6, clam 2, moving into clam kick out if you choose. Squeeze the heels, switching on glute medius, glute minimus, bottom leg. Exhale, open up, and inhale to close. Check your bottom waist. Check your top hip is not rolling back. If you're pressing into the resistance of the band and you are needing to open up the hips towards the sky, you are utilizing the spine. You're taking away from the glute strengthening and conditioning of this exercise. Think about a smaller range or take the band away. 2 more. You can stick with clam 2 or you can join me for 6, clam 2 kick out. Squeeze the heels, exhale, open. Inhale, lengthen, turn it down from the hip. Exhale, soles together, knee high, press into the band. Inhale, close. 5 more. Exhale. Inhale, turn it down. Don't turn down the foot, turn the whole leg. Exhale, soles together, knee high. Inhale, close. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, soles together and close. Good, keep it going. Wow, this is a strong one. 2 left. Bottom waist up. Don't lose that bottom waist. Last one. Beautiful. Rest the feet down, have that break. Oh, excellent. Push yourself up. Come into seated, slide the band off. Excellent. So we're going to do a little bit of seated abdominals. For those of you that don't like the half roll back position or coming into the flexion of the spine, you can lay on your back and you can do pelvic curl, whether that be lifting into neutral or rolling up is up to you. So you can go for 5 pelvic curl and then you can work on your lift and extend for 10 reps, and then if you have extra time, your lift foot for 10 reps, okay? So that's your series as your alternate if you don't want to work into half roll back. We're starting seated for spine stretch, and if you like spine stretch, by all means join us for that before you go down for your pelvic curl. So I'm starting with straight legs. Position a pillow under your buttocks or under your tailbone if you need to lift yourself into a really nice tall seated position. Please try to sit upright on your sit bones. Don't start in this position, creating that water shoot down and pressure to move through your pelvic floor. Lift upright, loop the band over the soles of your feet. Gather up resistance on the ends of your band and try and sit as tall as you can. Lift that spinal column, lift the tailbone to vertical. Shoulders down, float the sternum. Now switching on in this position is a breeze if you're lifted. Take a deep breath in. Think about the lift of your pelvic floor, the squeeze of front and back passage muscles. Exhale, focus on the T-zone connection. Good. From this position, position 2 ends of the band into 2 hands. Good. Take a deep breath in. A gentle flex of the feet, push your heels down. Good. As you exhale, you're going to scoop through the belly. Think about drawing the ribs towards the hips, rounding your forehead over your big toe as you walk your hands down the band towards your feet. Drop your forehead towards your knees. Take a nice deep breath in and look down. Think about the nice rounding from your tailbone over the crown of your head. And think about that nice lengthening of your hamstrings underneath your pelvis. On your next exhale, scoop out the belly and gently walk your hands back up to the ends of the band and lift yourself tall. We're going to do that 3 more times. Nice deep breath in. On your deep exhale, scoop out the belly. Round the ribs over the hips. Round the forehead over the big toe. Press the heels down. Think about that lovely rounding of the spine from the tailbone to the crown. A deep breath in and look at those knees. Good. On the exhale, slowly start to scoop the belly as you lift the vertebrae upright, walking hands up the band to sit tall once more for a nice deep breath in. Good. 2 more. Exhale, scoop. Round the forehead over the big toe. Take your breath in and allow that rounding of the spine to really be from the top and from the bottom, to the top of that spinal column. Good. Exhale, scooping out the belly, stacking the vertebrae one at a time to sit tall. Let's do 1 more. A nice deep breath in. Exhale. Round that crown of the head over the big toe, walk the hands down the band. Take a deep breath in and just really allow the spine to stretch, rounding over those straight legs. Push the heels down. Exhale, scoop out the belly and walk yourself on up. Lift yourself tall. Beautiful. You can bend the knees. Now, if you're laying down onto your back, pelvic curl for 5 reps, going into your series of lift and extend for 10 reps, and if you have time, you can go into your lift foot for 10 reps too. We're going to look at our half roll back position utilizing the band. You don't have to if you don't want to. In fact, if you feel it gets in the way, pop the hand to the side. So I've got a bent knee position to begin with. Your legs could straighten out if you feel more comfortable here as you go through this nice opening of the back. You want to sit upright once more on top of your sit bones. I'm going to wiggle myself forwards because I will hit the couch. I'm squeezing my knees and my feet together and pressing my heels down through slightly flexed feet. Switching on your T-zone, making sure your connection is really strong. Take a deep breath in. Now I'm going to sink my tailbone underneath my pelvis first. I'm softly allowing my pelvis to roll back and I'm releasing my lumbar spine curve first. I'm going to drop my chin to my chest, sink my ribs to my hips as I gently roll back, scooping out that belly, coming into the last few lumbar spine vertebrae that's seated on top of the pelvis, resting on the mat. Take a deep breath in, make sure you're looking down at your flattened abdominals. Now as you exhale, rotate your palms up towards the ceiling, scoop out the belly, pulling your forehead towards your knees. Come up really rounded. And then as you inhale, lift that spinal column once more tall onto the sit bones. Good. Again, we're going to exhale, release the tailbone and the lumbar spine curve first. Scoop out the belly, gently roll back, sinking the ribs to the hips, chin to chest. Good. Take a nice soft breath in. Look down at that flattened abdominal section. Rotate palms up. Exhale, push down through your feet and your heels. As you scoop the belly and draw the forehead towards the knees, you can use your biceps. Good. Inhale, lift. Let's do a few more. Exhale, sinking into that nice rounded spine. Scoop out the belly. Don't push the contents of your tummy forwards. From this position, palms rotate up, elbows squeeze into the ribs. Exhale, scoop, pulling into that nice rounded position, pushing your heels down to keep them on the mat. Inhale to lift. So for those of you that are very confident with your half roll back, you might be moving into a more straight-legged position, and you now may be walking up to your bra strap line for your ladies and towards your second to last rib or third to last rib for your fellas. So this is a really great exercise for those of you that are really looking to really think about that spinal connection, utilizing a really deep scoop of the abdominals. That would be your local muscles, which would be your pelvic floor and your T-zone or your transverse line, and now adding in the superficial layer, which would be your rectus abdominis, your six-pack. You'll also be using your back extensors because you're going into that lovely rounded spine position. Good. You can keep bent knees. You could just have that nice shallow half roll back where you're just in the bottom lumbar spine vertebrae, or you could be walking up the spine. Let's do one more of these. Beautiful, slowly come on up. From this position, some of you will take this now into your Make-A-Wish. Sorry, I've got a hair that is being blown by the fan into my eye. It's uncomfortable. Some of you may be going into your Make-A-Wish. So you're going to be adding on to your half roll back. So you're going to be adding in this external opening of the arms. So we're going to practice this in seated tall first. Lift yourself upright. Push your heels down. Switch on the T-zone. Now you're going to start by adding resistance to the band. So gather up resistance here. You're seated upright, so you will be using a short band rather than a long one. When you come into the half roll back position, obviously you'll be using a long band. Now from this position, I want you to think about keeping your sit bones on the mat, keeping your knees and feet facing forwards, heels pressed down. You're going to bring your thumbs together and notice that you turn your palms down towards your knees and you get a little bit of rotation from the forearm in the shoulder socket. Now, as you start to open up the palms towards the ceiling, I'd like you to lengthen one arm down towards the side of the thigh, palm facing up. Notice that you follow with the shoulder. Then bring the two palms together, thumbs connecting, palms facing down. Press the heels into the mat. Do that again. Start to rotate the palms up, bringing the thumbs apart. Reach one arm down to the side of your thigh, palm facing up. Follow it with your eye line and your shoulder. You notice that you're coming into a small amount of side bend. Inhale, come back together. So it's almost as if you're coming into your lateral flexion. Your rib to hip on one side is dropping and closing. And you're getting a small amount of side bend. I want you to think about this here. So side bend, lateral flexion. If I was doing it without the band, as I open up, oh, look at that lateral flexion on the side. I'm also using the chest and back muscles, so I'm getting a little bit of my external obliques working too. As I come back to center and take it to the other side, again, I have my lateral flexion. Now, when you incorporate this into your half roll back, it becomes more of an external rotation because the spine is already in its flexion. Let's add that in if you choose, or just stick with working with your aeroplane arms in seated tall. So you won't need as much resistance on your band, you'll actually need the band length. So we're going to start seated tall. I'm going to start with slightly bent legs and I'm switching on the T-zone. Lift the spine upright, don't start in that half roll back position already. Now remember, you start by dropping the tailbone under, exhale, scooping out the belly, dropping the chin to chest and allowing the ribs to drop towards the hips. To come into your half roll back, I've slightly straightened out my legs, my hip flexors prefer it. Now I'm going to pull on the band to draw my shoulders down. From this position, turn your palms facing down over your thighs, thumbs together. Take a deep breath in. Look down at that flat belly. Don't promote tension in the neck. Push the heels down. Exhale. Start to turn your palms up towards the sky as you open up to one side of the thigh, coming into your lateral flexion. Notice that it's more of a rotational aspect. Inhale, come back to center, thumbs placed together. Keep the scooped out belly. Keep that rib to hip connection, shoulders down. Good, open up to the side, rotating the palm up towards the ceiling, dropping rib to hip on one side, pressing the heels down. Inhale to center. Let's go one more each side. Exhale. Draw the shoulder blades down. Look at your thumb. Inhale, come back to center. Good, exhale, lateral flexion, heels pressing down. Look at that thumb. Inhale to center. Now we're going to exhale, scoop the belly, draw the forehead towards the knees to come up rounded, and inhale, sit tall. Let's do another 2 rounds to finish off this exercise here. Remember, you're going to start upright. Exhale, drop the tailbone, sink down through lumbar spine, scooping out the belly. Drop the chin towards the chest, the ribs towards the hips. I've slightly straightened out my legs. You can keep them bent if you'd like. Push the heels down. Keep the scooped out belly. Rotate the palms over your thighs. Press the thumbs together. Take a breath in. Drop the shoulders from the ears. Now as you exhale, open up your palms towards the sky. Come into your lateral flexion by dropping one arm down towards the thigh. Follow that eye line with the thumb. Good. Inhale to center, palms facing down, thumbs together. Press your heels down, scoop the belly out. Exhale, open up out to the side, palms facing up. Look at your thumb. Look down your forearm. Good. Inhale to center. One more each way. Exhale. And inhale. Exhale. And inhale. Come back to center. Now push down through your heels. Exhale, scoop the belly. Draw the forehead towards the knees. Coming up rounded. Lift tall. Have your final round. You could go for 3 or 4 of your aeroplane arms if you choose. You could just be working in the half roll back position, just doing your half roll back. You want to make sure your shoulders are drawing down if you're going for your aeroplane arms. You're pressing your heels into the mat. You're scooping out the belly, ribs towards hips. This amount of lateral flexion, you follow with eye line down the forearm to the thumb. Palms are rotating up, so we're getting some really lovely internal rotation at the shoulder joint. Once you've done your 3 or 4, come back to center, take your breath in. Now as you exhale, push the heels down, scoop the belly out, draw the forehead towards the knees, rounding the spine. You want to come up nice and small, and then inhale, lift tall. Good, release the band. Scrunch up your fingers, create waves, roll fists, whatever you need there. Beautiful. Excellent. Now, if you went onto your back and you did your pelvic curl, your lift and extend and your left foot, you can now join us for spine twists. It's going to be our last exercise here for this session. You can utilize your band if you choose. Now, I'm seated in a straight leg V-sit. My feet are just beyond my hip line. Try not to straddle too wide because you'll need to lean forwards to be comfortable on your pelvis. Keep yourself narrow. You can equally have bent knees or cross-legged if it's better for you. You can pop something under your tailbone to help you sit tall as a small feedback prop. Now I'm going to utilize the band, so I'm going to place it underneath my waistline, between my ribs and my hips, and I'm going to create fists at either end of the band. Now I'm going to have gently flexed feet, and I'm going to lift myself tall on my sit bones once more, pressing heels down into the mat. Good. I want you to lift the sternum, take your breath in for pelvic floor, and exhale, focus on T-zone. Now, if you're utilizing the band, bring your elbows to your waist, shoulders down. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, extend the arms, lengthening the band. Feel that the band is positioned under your waist, under your rib cage. Now, keep that draw out into the band, lengthening the arms, shoulders gliding down. Pressing into your heels, keeping those straight legs on the mat if you have straight legs. We're going to exhale, rotate at the waistline where the band is sitting into spine twist. Follow with your eye line, and then inhale, return to center, shoulders down. Keep lengthening the arms into the band. Good, as you exhale into spine twist, keep your pelvis on the mat. Try not to lift the shoulder and round forwards. Try to keep yourself upright, no lateral flexion here. Now, as you exhale for spine twist, really lengthen the arms into the band. Think about drawing the shoulder blades away from one another. And then inhale to center. Good, exhale, spine twist. And inhale to center. Those of you that are not using the band, still think about that rotation under the waistline. Still pressing the heels down if the legs are straight or if you've got the bent knee V-sit. Still think about, as you inhale to come back to center, shoulders down. Good, exhale, spine twist. And inhale to center, beautiful, keep it going. We can take this into our saw positioning too if you choose. This is optional, you can stick with just your spine twist. Those of you that are using the band, as you exhale to spine twist, you'll notice that your band is reaching towards your big toe. Follow it here. Exhale, reach forwards, pulling on the band. Lengthen the back arm behind you by squeezing the arm through the armpit into the rib cage. Good. Inhale, lift the spine upright. Come back to center. Draw the shoulders away from one another, lengthen through the band. Exhale, spine twist. Good. Reach forwards, pulling on the band towards the big toe. Lengthen the arm behind you. Squeeze your armpit into your rib cage of that back arm. Good. Inhale, lift yourself upright, come back to center. Stick with spine twist if you prefer, or exhale for the saw, reaching forwards, push the arm back. Good. Inhale. Exhale and reach. Keep that gentle flex of the feet. Push the heels down. Keep your buttocks on the mat. Use the upper body. Use that pull on the band to reach forwards, drawing the shoulder blades down from your ears. Let's do 2 more. Or 2 more spine twists if you prefer. Really think about the pull on the band. And center, last one each side. Exhale. Inhale. 1 more. Lift. Slowly release the band, elbows to your side, rest it down. Good, roll the shoulders. Let's bend the knees and come into cross-legged. We'll do a little shoulder stretch and then a glute stretch to finish. So from this position, sit upright. Float your arm directly in line with your chest. Reach the arm over the chest line, opposite arm coming in, pulling that straight arm across. Drop this shoulder away from the earlobe. You can drop chin to chest and breathe as you stretch over the posterior or the back of the shoulder blade itself. Really allow the stretch to occur. Use some force through the opposite arm. Pull that long arm into the chest. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Focus on the stretch at the back of the shoulder. Good, let's count 2 long deep breaths from here. Last one. Let's release this arm, take it into tricep stretch. Reach the arm overhead. Place the fingers just below the nape of the neck. The opposite arm reaching up, resting on the elbow. Take a deep breath in. On an exhale, slide these fingers towards the deep mid-center of your back. Starting to get that lovely tricep stretch. The weight of this top arm just pressed onto the elbow. Drop your chin to your chest. Allow the stretch to run down the back of the arm here. A deep breath in and out. Keep it going. Last 2. Last 1. Good. Let's release that here. Sticking on the same side, we can do a seated glute stretch or 4-point glute stretch. If you can't do this, lay on your back and do the alternative supine figure 4 stretch. I'm going to lift one leg up, cross the ankle over the supporting knee. I've got a bent knee. here, and I'm going to hold on to the foot itself or the ankle. I'm going to start lifting the spine upright to sit tall, pressing this outside knee away from the chest to get that nice passive stretch through the PNF element. Keep breathing in and out, sit tall. Good. Push the knee away from you. You can also pull the foot towards you to get the stretch, which will be opening up the side of the hip and the glutes. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Alternatively, lay on your back and do the same positioning. That would mean 2 feet off the ground, and if you're not comfortable, just stick with pushing the knee away. A nice deep breath in and out from here. Keep it going. Good. So I hope you enjoyed the banded element of this class. I'm always thinking of new things that I can try with you. Last one. Let's change to the opposite side. Come back to cross-legged, shoulder stretch. Lift the spine, switch on T-zone to support you. Float the arm over the chest. Keep this arm fairly straight. Opposite arm is going to pull that straight arm across. Drop the shoulder. Drop chin to chest. Breathe in and out. Keep pulling that straight arm across. Now you want to feel the back of the shoulder blade opening. That's where the stretch is, in that posterior deltoid. So keep breathing. You're getting a little bit of your trapezius as well with this. We really want this shoulder stretch to be about the shoulder. Don't make it neck tension. It's not. Breathe in and out nice and deeply for 2. And 1. Let's release. Let's take it into tricep. Reach overhead. Place the fingers on the nape of the neck. That might mean you drop your chin to your chest. Opposite arm reaches and places on the elbow. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, walk the fingers down towards the deep center back. Use the weight of that top arm just to rest on the elbow to get the stretch in the tricep group at the back of the top arm. Breathe in and out nice and deeply. Chin drop to chest. Don't promote tension in the cervical spine. Good. 2 long deep breaths in and out left. Excellent. Last one. Slowly release. Let's go for that glute stretch on this side. So bent knee. Lift your thigh up. Rotate out from the hip joint itself. Place the ankle just above the knee. You can draw the knee in to get a deeper stretch. You want to sit upright as much as you can on your sit bones, holding on to your foot, to your ankle, starting to press this knee away for that nice opening of the hip and the glute stretch. Now to modify, this leg could slide away and you can sit upright, and that could be enough for you. The closer this knee is towards you, the deeper the external rotation is going to be of you pushing the knee away. So we really want you to think about that here, and you can modify as you need. You can pull the foot towards you too, and that can give you a double element of that PNF that you normally would do when you are laying on your back in this stretch. Good. The side of the hip and the glute, nice and stretched here. Last breath in and out. Let's release. Beautiful. So I hope you enjoyed this class. If you've got any feedback, let me know. You can message me or Mignon, and I will see you next week. Thank you. Bye.